I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
So it says Erika Kirk was dating Cabot Phillips. And if you haven't heard the story, basically they were dating. They have all kinds of Instagram stuff together, saying we're lovebirds. People are like, oh, you guys are the greatest couple. And they painted together, all this stuff, right? And the same dude was hanging out with Charlie.
I used to go to every single, Charlie and I were on the road probably 320 some days out of the year. All of a sudden, when I found out I was pregnant, I just stopped. I stayed home because I knew that once my little one was here, my focus was going to shift.
Another day, another falsehood by Erika Kirk revealed. Cabot, seconds to Phillips, Erika's ex-fiancé, may have been involved in the scheme against Charlie, according to a number of receipts that were recently disclosed, and Erika was supposedly paid to handle Charlie until the operation was finished. However, the rabbit hole is far deeper. Seconds. A lot of dubious information regarding Kit has been found online. From the strange pizza tattoo on his inner lip to his dubious past and the purported cult membership of his music second family. In addition, Cabot stated that he gave birth to a son in March. It's interesting to note that, only a few months later, Erika is said to have given birth to a son named Charlie. Despite this, there isn't a single picture of her when she was pregnant. What else did Erika lie about if she had lied about her dating life prior to Charlie? Minute, seconds. Well, let's get the receipts out because it gets wilder the deeper you go. Charlie Kirk texted Andrew Cover, claiming, "They're going to kill me," yet he wasn't contacting anyone the day before, stating, "I'm going to be murdered." This is what he wrote to me. "Pray for me, please." Quote, "I know they want me dead." Minutes, seconds. Alright, let's start by discussing Erika's previous dating experiences, because a lot of new material has recently surfaced that runs counter to what she told us about her life before to Charlie. In her December 2nd CBS News town hall, Erika stated that she had not dated anyone for years prior to meeting Charlie. "I spent years living out here. I never dated here since I saw firsthand how awful it was through my roommate. Somehow, getting beverages took the place of having coffee and second breakfast, minutes. Even though I don't drink, I would much rather have coffee or breakfast with someone. It doesn't seem productive to me. Second to nothing, it's not because I'm holier than thou. I simply don't function in that manner. However, I always found it really odd that she would go out for drinks with one person and then go out for dinner with another. Thus, this situation is double. Therefore, if you're hoping to wed someone with whom I was fortunate, such as a Charlie, minutes, seconds, music, you must be the kind of woman who will draw a Charlie." That was Erika's account of what happened. Now, however, let's examine the details and what actually transpired in the minutes and seconds when Erika was enjoying her finest single life in New York City throughout those years. While residing in New York, Erika made an appearance on a season of her episodes from the Bravo reality show Summer House was shot in August at a bar in New York City and in the Hamptons. She also lied about the fact that she was heavily drinking alcohol. Seconds, get some food or a drink for you guys. I might have a glass of your sherry. Seconds, minutes, clears throat. I'm going to go do the mom's work in a few minutes. I'm not sure. I simply wanted to learn a little bit more about you. I'm not even sure how long you've lived in New York, minutes, seconds, hours. Gosh, New York, minutes and seconds. 4 years ago, I relocated here. What was your age? May I ask you a question? Well, minutes or seconds, but Erika wasn't merely going on TV dates. During those years in New York, she publicly dated at least 2 men whose songs we are familiar with. First, in this interview for Arizona Foothills magazine, Erika described professional baseball pitcher Tyler J.T. Massey as her amazing boyfriend. Some sources even minutes second claimed they were engaged at one point due to online circulation of engagement-style photographs and shoots. Nevertheless, there are no officially verified marriage records. Music seconds, minutes. The real shocking thing, though, is this widely shared video from one of Trump's first significant rallies, which shows Erika standing minutes and seconds away from a guy and a small girl. Additionally, this dude resembles JT Massa quite a little. People are already suggesting that the young child might be their daughter. Minutes, seconds, and Erika was one of the callers. "Hey, I was Miss Arizona," she says. "I adore Donald Trump. I'm like, minutes, seconds. Can I be involved?" Yes, of course. When I music first saw her, I thought, we've got to put her behind the present. I, therefore, have my family's support. My grandfather, who adored Charlie, Minutes, the program, and everything in music, passed away a few months ago. Daisy, pay attention. My wife Lauren, my dad-in-law, my grandfather, and Erika were up there. Yes. Minutes, seconds, and then Tyler Boer is visible in the bleachers in the same shot. Charlie was first introduced to Erika by the same Tyler Boer. Music, this raises a lot of questions. Why was this history erased? Why is there a popular narrative that there was no dating before Charlie when images and other sources, like music, tell a different story? Minutes, seconds. A few months after Tyler was appointed Chief Operating Officer in Music at TPUSA, he easily arranged what was ostensibly a job interview that inadvertently doubled as a date between Charlie and Erika. Music Tyler, who currently heads Turning Point Auction, told me, "You need to meet the CEO," when I went to Turning Point's Minutes, the second office opening for their first building. I swiftly met him, shook his hand, and said, "Hello, nice to meet you." I said, "Okay, great." Neither of us gave it much thought. In retrospect, it seems that he sat down with Tyler and said, "We need to hire," or Tyler, minutes later, second said, "We need to recruit her." And he goes, "MHM. But hold on, it gets even crazier from here. Erika dated someone else before Tyler set her up with Charlie. Seconds, minutes. Erika had a mission to fulfill, thus, it seemed that being a basketball player was no longer sufficient. She consequently became associated with someone who was heavily active in the dubious realm of politics. Ben Shapiro, senior editor at the Daily Wire, Cabot Phillips, is currently on at TPUSA. Just a few months after Charlie's murder, minutes, seconds, music, minutes, seconds now, let's examine the history of Erika and Kit's relationship, since this is when music, things get really strange. Second, there's this old tweet from Kit that recently came to light, confirming in music that he dated Erika in September. Kit posted a picture of himself and Erika on a minutes, second painting music date, and added, "Yes, we are that couple that gets painting lessons together," as the caption. Music, minutes, seconds, but have a look at this. Here is another September photo of Kit and Charlie. According to Erika, she initially met Charlie at a Turning Minutes, Seconds Music Point USA event in New York City. Charlie and her boyfriend were hanging out and playing basketball together because of how close they were. But when you start looking into Kit's past, the whole situation becomes even more eerie. First of all, Tim Phillips, a longtime Republican Party organizer and former head of the conservative advocacy group Americans for Prosperity, is Kit's father. However, because of personal music, minutes and seconds, improperly, Tim was compelled to leave that role. The group just released a brief statement saying, "Minutes and seconds," and it was never made clear exactly what he accomplished. Tim's actions contravene our key beliefs, and minutes and seconds make it hard for him to remain in this job, even though the underlying concerns are personal in nature. However, there are other dubious aspects of the Phillips family. Minutes, seconds. A Reddit poster who claimed to have attended a music high school with Kit said that the Cabbat family operated Cornerstone Chapel, a cult-like megachurch near Lebanon, Virginia. And it appears that this person was speaking the truth because Barrett Phillips, Kit's brother, is listed as assistant music pastor in charge of middle school kids on Cornerstone Chapel's official website, eMusic. Minutes, seconds now, let's discuss Cabot's pizza tattoo on his inner music lower lip. You can probably guess what people are saying about this tattoo on the internet. They are pointing out that Charlie Music himself thought that the word pizza was a code word for something quite sinister. Additionally, if you look at Charlie's previous post on X, you'll see that he frequently discussed it and stated, "The term pizza was employed by those who committed these heinous crimes to conceal their illegal actions." Naturally, this does not prove that Cabot Phillips's tattoo had anything to do with this. However, you have to acknowledge that getting something tattooed on your inner lip is strange. Minutes, seconds, and then some. Users are going so far as to mention Erika's membership in Romanian Angels. As you can see, the problem isn't that Erika dated Charlie for a short while. It's the fact that she lied about it on multiple occasions, and then she and Kit erased all evidence of their relationship from the internet and Minutes. So why tell lies? Unless they genuinely don't want anyone to find out Cat Phillips' true identity. Are you prepared for the biggest revelation in a matter of minutes? Seconds to all this. Because everything you believe to be true regarding Charlie's murder may be drastically altered by this next one. Recall how Candace, the head of Charlie's security team, Brian Harpole, was allegedly present at a covert military meeting 2 music days prior to Charlie's death, according to Owens. However, Candace recently disclosed that an eyewitness identified Cabbat minutes and seconds after Phillips as another person who was present at that same meeting. I email him Cabbat Phillips's music photo. And he responds, yes. Minutes, and that's the individual I recall seeing at the base. I think that would be completely insane. Once more, this might be a lookalike for minutes or seconds. I sent Cabot Phillips a message, but I never heard back. I asked Cabot Phillips, who I know does the morning wire up at the Daily Wire, if he wanted to have an off-record talk when I messaged him twice today. When I checked, he was missing minutes and seconds from the morning wire. He doesn't perform music every day, but he does it frequently enough that I noticed he wasn't present on that show from September 1st to September 31st. Let's now. Secondly, Candace is merely disseminating false information. Music seconds, minutes. If Kit wasn't there at the meeting on that particular day, why hasn't he stepped out and put an end to this? He could show that with ease. These are really minutes, seconds, grave accusations. Music, why don't you say anything? We don't know the solution in minutes or seconds, but there are plenty of theories on the internet. Additionally, the majority of people in the music industry currently think that everyone involved was a trained operative. And that this whole minutes, the scenario has been one long scope since Erika was scheduled to go on her date with